All right, Week 9 NFL. It's Halloween week. Speaking of Halloween, I caught a documentary on the making of the original Halloween movie from '78. I think the documentary. I think it was 10 years old. I think it came out like for the 30th anniversary. But they were interviewing all the people that were in the movie, worked on the movie. John Carpenter. All those people that were in the film. They were talking about, making the movie, coming up with the ideas and all that stuff. And listen, the movie's a classic. But, you hear these people talking about the making of Halloween. They were acting like they made Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like you made Halloween. It's like, again, it's an all-time classic. It kickstarted probably the most successful horror series franchise of all time. But I mean, it's Halloween. I mean, it's a serial killer in a friggin' mask going around killing teenagers. I mean, it's not. These people are acting like they made The Godfather. Like, we looked at the script and we felt like this would be. And it's like, you made Halloween, all right? You didn't make Goodfellas, all right? You didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, just slow down, okay? Anyway, film's a classic. Anyway, something scary is coming up Thursday to kick off the week. You got Oakland at San Francisco. The only people watching this game are hardcore gamblers. Anybody who's got fantasy. I might start Jalen Richard in one of my leagues. But other than that, I mean, who cares? Maybe San Francisco wins a game here finally. I know they've won a game, but it seems like they should have been winning a couple of these other games. They have some weak opponents, but I'll take the 49ers in this one. But who cares? People in the Bay Area aren't watching this game. Let's go to Sunday. Early games. You got 6 teams off this week, so you got a little bit of a lighter schedule. Chicago's at Buffalo. The Bills are starting Nathan Peterman. I mean, do I really need to elaborate on that? Probably not. So Chicago's going to win. You got Kansas City at Cleveland. I mean, again, do I really need to go into this? I mean, you got the freaking Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs offense going against a Browns team starting to look like classic Browns. They fired their head coach. I mean, come on, guys. The Chiefs are going to win this game. So let's move on. You get the Jets at Miami. Something about this rivalry. Like, whenever the other team looks like they're going to take a move up, the other team beats them. Like, again, when a couple weeks back, the Jets look like they might be on a start or something. And Miami comes into town, beats them, and then the Jets are looking like the Jets again. But flip it around now. Here we go, Miami. They're in the playoff hunt. They've been playing well of late. I mean, I got blown out Thursday against Houston last Thursday, but they're in the thick of the playoff race. And now here come the Jets. They get them at home, and watch the Jets win this game. I'm not going to pick the Jets. I'm not that crazy, but the Jets are going to give them a ball game here. But I think Miami will prevail. But don't be shocked. The Jets win this game. You get Detroit at Minnesota. This game's a toss-up. I mean, really, that whole NFC North's a toss-up. I mean, everybody's 4-3, 3-1, whatever it is. I mean, you got all these teams are bunched up in there. Only one of them's probably coming out of here, division winner. I don't know if you're getting a wild card out of here. Maybe. I'll take the Vikings at home, but Detroit. They traded Golden Tate, so maybe now guys like Galladay and Marvin Jones can really to take control from the receiver standpoint and not have to spread the ball around so much. I mean, they're pretty good receivers, but I'll take the Vikings in this one. But I mean, this is another toss-up game. You got Atlanta at Washington. Atlanta coming off a bye. Yeah, the Redskins are 5-2, and then and listen. By the way, all the noise people made at the trade deadline. Redskins picking up Clinton Dix. That's big. I mean, I didn't like that. I mean, it's good for the Redskins, but as a Cowboy fan, that's a good pickup for Washington. Um, I mean, look out for the Redskins. I mean, Adrian Peterson's looking like old AP. Alex Smith's not screwing up. Defense is decent. I need Atlanta to get a win here, but I don't know if they're gonna. To be honest with you, I'm gonna take Atlanta, but I'm not confident. Only because I want to see the Redskins lose, because Cowboys got to get back in this. Tampa Bay at Carolina. Winston back to the bench. Whatever's left of Fitzmagic is going to come in here. It could be a high-scoring game. It could be nothing. Tampa's not going anywhere. Carolina needs this game, because they've got to stockpile wins because they're not going to catch New Orleans. They want to stay ahead in the wild card race. I'll take Carolina in this one, but Tampa might give them a game here, but Carolina will win the game. And then last early afternoon games on Sunday, you got Pittsburgh at Baltimore. The Steelers are starting to play a little bit better. Le'Veon Bell is still on the shelf. The Ravens, they struggled last week in Carolina. They come back home, but again, this is always a toss-up. I'll take Pittsburgh in this one, just because Baltimore won the last game, and these teams always seem to beat each other on their own field and split the series every year. So I'll take Pittsburgh in this one. Houston at Denver. Houston picks up Demaryius Thomas, so he goes from playing for the home team to playing for the road team. I mean, I guess Denver had to make the move, but did you have to? I guess you couldn't trade him the week before. I mean, now the guy's coming in to play against you. But and part of the deal is the Cortland Sutton. He's the hot waiver wire pick this week. But I've been watching some Broncos this year, and I've been waiting for Sutton to kind of break out. Wasn't able to get him in any of my leagues. I got outbid by $1 in one of my leagues for him. He has a lot of big play potential, Sutton. So that's why they felt comfortable moving Demaryius. But this game's kind of a toss-up here. All these games are toss-up this week. I don't know what to tell you. I went 12-2 last week, but I don't know if I'm going to do as good this week. But I'll take Houston here. One of the 3 late Sunday games. Just because Houston needs a game more, and Denver's kind of falling out of the race here. And then you got the Chargers at Seattle. This is another game that could be a high-scoring game. A lot of big fantasy players in this game, obviously. Seahawks are tough at home, but the Chargers are the better team. Man, I should just be flipping coins here, but nobody wants to watch me flip coins. But I'll flip on Seattle this week. I think Seattle wins this game, although the Chargers have been taking care of business. I still think they can win the AFC West. But they got to beat the Chiefs the second time they play them, obviously. But I think Seattle will win this game, though. I don't know what to tell you. And then you got the last late Sunday afternoon game. You got the LA Rams unbeaten, still going into New Orleans. These are the 2 best teams in the NFC right here. Hopefully we get a nice shootout here. Premier fantasy matchup in this one. Everybody got somebody in this game. And listen, one thing on the Gurley thing, last week where he didn't score the touchdown, and people are screaming about the over/under. Listen, these guys are out there to win the game. They don't give a shit about the over/under, the plus minus, your fantasy team. These guys just play to win the game. And for everybody complaining about, he should have just scored the touchdown, and then my fantasy team could have had 6.5 more points, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make sense that, they just kick the extra point and go up 9. Well, wait a minute. There was a minute left, 50 seconds left, whatever. Let's say he scores a touchdown, and then they miss the extra point. Well, guess what? Now you're up only 8. You got 50 seconds left. You're giving the ball back to Aaron Rodgers. Don't think he wouldn't have come down there and tied that game. Okay, so this nonsense about you wanted Gurley to score because you had money on the game, too bad. And guess what? These situations where players are doing things to win the game and that maybe hurts your fantasy or your bets, that's part of it, man. You can't complain. Well, he cost all these people. Well, no, that's part of the game. What about the people who took the under? You know, this element of a guy taking a knee instead of scoring a touchdown. That's part of the game, people. All right. So you got to live with it. Don't complain about it. And listen, if betting on it's one thing, but if you're complaining about Todd Gurley not scoring another touchdown in fantasy, I mean, you should be crushing your league every week if you have Todd Gurley. I mean, do you really need the extra 6.5 points? I mean, if you do, then you got other problems on your roster, and you've blown it. I mean, one of my leagues, the guy with Gurley is like 1-7. Like, how is that possible? But it happens. But anyway, who's gonna win this game? Oh boy, I mean, I hate picking against the Rams because they're undefeated, but. Listen, the 72 Dolphins are the 72 Dolphins for a reason. You got to win them all. The Rams are very good. They're not going to win them all. This is the game they lose. I'm going to take New Orleans. And then Sunday night, Green Bay at New England. Wow. You got a stacked lineup this week with some ball games. This is only the second time Rodgers and Brady have met. Again, another monster fantasy a game here, and man, it's so tempting to take Team Green Bay here because we got Rodgers, and really they really should have won the game last week, but the guy takes the ball out of the end zone, he fumbles, and then they trade him to Baltimore. So, I mean, I can't go against New England at home, even though it is Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is going to pull something out of his ass in this game as long as. One of his other guys don't let him down here. But, obviously this will be a close game, high-scoring game. People are going to go bananas. Somehow New England will find a way to win, but, don't count on Aaron Rodgers, obviously. And then you get your Monday night game. You get Tennessee at Dallas. Dallas coming off a bye. You got a brand new, shiny receiver to show off. Let's get it done, okay? You've had a week of practice. I don't expect you to go out there and do 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, but let's make an impact on the game. Let's stretch the field. Let's open it up for Zeke in the running game, and let's get the win over really a mediocre Tennessee team that's just an underachieving team. Let's go out there and take care of your business. All right. So there you go. We'll see you Monday night for that game. Cowboys will win that one, and there you go. Week 9, trick or treat.